Hi, this is Dave with a tutorial on how to create a FlashBox graphic or photo slideshow on the website. To give you an example of what one looks like, here's our Contact Us page on the site, and it shows a couple of pictures here rotating from one to the next. And I just chose sort of a fun little transition here of the second slide bouncing in. There are other transitions that can be used. Now this FlashBox graphic tool can be used for photos like this, and can also be used for any graphic that you create that would fit in this space. So it could be a series of text announcements with some graphics, or graphics and photos, anything that you'd like to put in this space. The only requirement is that it be a certain size, which I'll get to in a minute, and it be in a JPEG file format is probably the most universal format you'd want to use on this. Getting back to the size, when you create your slideshow of one or more slides, it can be just one, by the way, it doesn't have to be a show, it can just be a static display of a graphic that you want to have sitting in there. Before we go into the site manager to actually build a FlashBox, let's talk a little bit about the image size here. This is work you want to do before you actually get into the website and make your FlashBox. And that is to create your photos or your graphics at the size that you want them. So these two shots right here, for example, are sized at 500 pixels wide by 300 tall. And you can make them just about any size you want. 500 is about as wide as you want to go. You certainly don't want to go so far as pushing the boundaries of the content section of the page here. If it's beyond the width of this, it starts doing funny things to your content down here. So 500 is probably a good maximum width. And then your height can be, you can make it very short and long, or somewhat taller like this one at 300. So between 200 and 300 probably is the height range you've got to deal with. And by the way, you can go shorter than 500 if you could make if a more square-like picture or graphic, if you like, make it 300 by 300 or something, for example. But anyway, this long aspect ratio I think looks fairly nice, but it's your personal choice. So you need to do that before you actually get into making your FlashBox. Is get your content ready, and most photo editing software packages include cropping and or sizing to the number of pixels that you desire. Alright, now we're ready to start the FlashBox creation process on the Faith Connector Site Manager. Here we are on the home page of the Site Manager. First thing we'll do is go up to the Manage Content drop-down menu and go down to the Image Library. Select that. And then we will be clicking the Browse button. And what we're doing now is opening up a menu which it displays the various files and folders in our own hard drive. In this case on my Mac. Your PC menu looks a little different, but it's basically doing the same thing. So I'm going to go to the place on my hard drive where I have the pictures I've already prepared, or graphics for the size I want. And then I will open up that folder. Okay. And down here I have actually created 6 of these, so I'll highlight them and press Shift and get them all, and we'll upload 6 of these pictures that I'm going to use for this tutorial. While this is doing this, here's a little digression. You notice these 6 pictures are loading fairly fast up here. And I'm already virtually done here. Okay, that's because, and I didn't mention this when we talked about creating your images, It's very important that you select a resolution in Photoshop or whatever photo editing software you're using to make sure that these are saved at a low resolution, therefore small file size. If you put pictures on the web that are print quality, meaning they're between 2 and 6 megabytes a piece, they'll take forever to load, and your FlashBox will be very lazy. So what you want to do now, Photoshop has a very nice functionality. When you are finished cropping your picture and you want to save it, there's a drop-down menu item called Save for Web, and you just open that up and then you just select the amount of resolution you want for that, and what you want to do is save it to a resolution that creates a file size no larger than 150 KB. So that's really important. Now with graphics, it's easier to stay under that 150 KB because they don't usually use up nearly that amount of file space, like for text or even simple line art or clip art, that kind of thing. It's photos where you have to really be careful of this. Okay, so let's go back to where we were here, and we are in the file library, image library, and we've uploaded 6 of these. Let's go down and look alphabetically to the various files that are in here and make sure that our pictures are here. Here's FlashBox tutorial 1 through 6, which is what we want, and verifies that they're in the image library on the site manager, and now we're ready to go to the next step. Okay, we've got our images in the image library, and now the next step is a short one. We're going to create a FlashBox file menu in the site manager. So we'll go to the drop down once again, and we will this time choose FlashBoxes, and we're going to come over here to this button and click on Add FlashBox. Now we'll give this a title, whatever we want to call this. I'm going to call this FlashBox Tutorial. And here's where we would enter the size of the images. And since for our purposes here for this tutorial, we created our images were 500 pixels wide by 300 high. And basically that's it for this particular step. We just click Save. And we can go back here and we will see that FlashBox Tutorial now has its place in the list of various FlashBoxes that are on the site. Now you notice over here that there's no slides in there, and that's what we will do in the next step.